Easy.
Hello, I'm just climbing YouTube. I was saying,
What's up guys, welcome to another video, and this time we'll be climbing in Montreal. So I usually climb at my gyms in Quebec City, but this time we'll have 2 sessions in Montreal, and I asked some people which gym should I try. I think all of them told me either Beta Bloc, Rose Bloc or Blockshop. And that's what I did. In this first session, we're at Beta Bloc. I really wanted to come back here again because I did a session I think a year ago, and even though the grading is different, we have the circuits in this gym, all the boulders are very epic. So it goes from circuit 1 to circuit 6. The V grade you see is my personal grading, so just to give an idea on how the boulders felt. And I also put the tries underneath for you to know how many tries I gave on the boulders. And well, in this first session, I was climbing with 3 very strong people. We have Loy, a content creator for climbing in Quebec. Then there's Zach Richardson, Canada's boulder champion, also NACS, I think champion also. And then Madison, his wife, that competes in World Cups and almost made a final. So yeah, I was anxious at first, of course, but they're very chill and we had a good session together. And I think they were already at the end of their session, but for me, everything was new, so it was very cool. I should also mention that their channels were a big inspiration for this one, since I feel like in Canada there's not really anybody doing these type of videos, like describing their sessions, talking about the boulders, and yeah, just doing this type of format. So big shout out to them, and I was really happy to climb with them. Alright, let's start cooking these boulders. So for the first boulder, we have this circuit 5 3 stars, which felt maybe V8-ish or V7. And just before looking at the video, try to figure out the beta for yourself. The beta on this one is crazy, and if you see it right now, it's cool, but I definitely didn't see it at first. And I could get a nice flash of this boulder because I figured out that you have to do this mental muscle up with one arm and then go dynamically to the next one while locking off. So that was a cool move. I don't think I've ever tried this before in my gyms. So that was like immediately a 5-star. I also tried it another way, which was just going dynamically from the first pinch to that position without using the crimp, but I don't think it was easier. And now we have a second challenging boulder, which is a circuit 6 2 stars. And at first I didn't think I would get it because this first move felt awkward with the toe hook. But then I was trying with the heel hook like this. I felt like it was possible, but still, sticking that from the start was definitely going to be a challenge. I gave it a few attempts, and I think when I kept on falling to the first move, I decided to try the second section. And it was definitely a little tricky, but the last move was hard. You have to do this toe hook catch while going to the last hold. And I feel like in Montreal they do this move so often, and I'm terrible at it. This is what it looks like always. And of course I don't fit in the box, but I also know it's my technique. I think you gotta jump high instead of to the side. I didn't really know it when I was trying it there, but then I just found my beta, which was just reaching it. For those who don't know, I have a 6'6" wingspan, so I could get a reach on the last move. And in this attempt, I could get a nice send of the boulder because I did the heel hook here and it was limit, but there was Loy, Zach, and Maddie watching me, so I couldn't drop the move. And once I got past that move, well, I knew the beta for the next section, which was just reaching for me. So I could get a nice send of this boulder, and I didn't think it would go at first, but then I found the beta break. So that was an insane boulder. Well, now we're on the slab, and you'll see Loy trying this boulder. I think it was also his first attempt. He made it look pretty easy because the next volume you'll see going left foot on this was not as comfortable as it felt like when I was watching him. And well, he did a good flash on this boulder, but the last move was definitely more difficult for him since he has less reach than me.
Reach, bro!
And we were all screaming like, oh, is he gonna get it? And then he did, and I had no choice to get it. So the crux for me was pressing with the left foot on this next volume. I felt like I didn't want to put my weight on it somehow. It just felt wrong. So I tried to do another beta, like switching my feet or trying something else, but then I just decided to accept my fate and step on it. And this last move was not too difficult for me. So nice flash from Loy and me. And now we're on an epic boulder, I think the coolest one in the gym. But unfortunately, I didn't get a send of it. I think I tried it like 7 times. I really try to limit myself to 5 tries per boulder since there was so many boulders in the gym. If I kept on trying this one, I would have just probably left unhappy with my session because it was taking all my skin and I had to climb tomorrow. But every move was so cool. As you can see, I think it was V9 to V10. Because this first move was challenging, then you have the second one generating from that jug, but the position is awkward. And even this last move is not too easy. Maybe my beta was just bad. I was trying to go Gaston. And yeah, I tried the boulder. I really wanted to get it, but I couldn't get it that day. And I would have come back for it, but it's in Montreal. I can't try it again. Alright, so now we have Zach Richardson himself. And he's gonna show us the Circuit 4 3 stars. It was the first time I saw Zach climbing in front of me. Not like in I saw him in a competition, but just normal session. And it's cool to see him climb because he's dynamic and like flowy, and I'm more of a controlled and slow climber.
Oh! Alright, should I top out? Yeah. Oh man. Good fall.
It's never easy.
Yeah.
Why don't we just make it easy? Like just
You gotta pretend like you're Toma and just slap up.
slap up.
Oh, that's easy. What are you talking about?
That was alright.
Nice, dude. Oh, that's not fair. Bro, you're too tall.
Alright.
10 feet, what? Nice, dude.
Chris. Nice.
Great mobility.
Alright, what is up?
I was saying,
So now we're in the top out section again, but this is a weird top out. It feels more of like the ones at my gym because you have this small angle and it makes up for weird boulders. As you can see, there's like 3 moves in this boulder. And after you're done with the 2 first, I think the right beta is putting a big heel hook like I did. And I probably made the last move look easy, but it wasn't too easy since the lip is not too good from what I remember. And again, you gotta place your foot well to top it out. So once again, a very sick boulder that made me think with my little brain. Oh, and this boulder, I think it was my best like performance in this session since I could flash this one. And it's a Circuit 6 2 stars and it was probably around V8, V9. I'm not sure since I didn't try it again, but the first holds weren't too good. They were very slopey, and look at these feet, they're very vertical. So you have to spear very well, and these shoes definitely helped me for the beginning moves. And I was surprised I flashed this one since it's not necessarily my style, and you can see I almost slipped there. But I would say it was a fight because there was again the 3 of them watching me, and I had to show them what my skills are. And I think after this move, it was pretty much over. Even though the last move was a little challenging, it was definitely the first section that was more challenging for me. So I could get a nice flash of this boulder, and this boulder was very awesome. And now we're on the steep section. This is the roof, like 85 to 90 degrees. And I'm climbing on jugs, but even if every hold is a jug, I actually struggled on this one. I thought it was going to be easier, since sometimes I can do these boulders at 60 degrees, but this is definitely another game. And when you get out of the roof, this hold is not too good. You can see I'm kind of crimping it and it's a little slopey. I was actually fighting at this section because they were not total jugs, and I was already a little pumped on my biceps since the beginning was a pure roof only on your biceps, and it was a cool experience since we don't have these roof at my gyms. So I wish there was more boulders in that section, but there was only this blue and white on the right side that I tried a little, but once again it hurt my ring finger, so I couldn't try that boulder. So now we're on a circuit 5 1 star, still on the top out, just a little to the right, and this is less angled, but you can see there's this dynamic move that makes up for a very cool move, like just swinging with one arm. And yeah, I really like this boulder since it's on the section that it's not really too steep and it's not a slab, so they make up either these coordination moves or just tricky moves that you gotta figure out. And then I would say the difficult part is topping out. Right here you can see I'm a little confused. I don't know where to put my feet or my hands, and then I figure out that on the left side you can just palm it and then go up. I really like this boulder since it made me think a little up there, so it wasn't just a total strength thing. And now on this circuit 4, I actually struggled on it. Somehow I'm not sure if the right beta was going that way, maybe you have to mental on the other way, but right here you don't see my face, but I'm actually struggling, and this mental wasn't as easy as I thought, because when I see a circuit 4 in my head it's like maybe V4 V5, but this is definitely more like V6, maybe V7 for me. Maybe the beta was wrong, but I kind of struggled on this first move. Okay, so last boulder in this top out section, and you can see this circuit 5 is full of crimps, and it wasn't actually too bad for my finger injury since I could open crimp all of them. And the moves were very sick, and I made sure that I didn't hurt myself. So I was going slowly with the open crimps, and it was a very cool boulder. And the reason why I tried so many boulders on the top out section is because the steep wall on the right side was getting reset. So the setters were doing new boulders, and well, I was doing the other ones. But I really had fun in this section. It was actually like a cool experience to have all these different type of boulders in the top out section, because we have a small top out in my gyms, but they're not as technical as these ones. I'm back on the slab section, and I saw a few people doing this boulder before me, and I definitely didn't do the same thing as them because I can just reach this crimp with the left hand, and it wasn't too difficult. I think even the right beta was going a little dynamic, but it was more of a tricky technical boulder instead of just using strength. But every boulder in this lab was so cool. So I know I said I liked every boulder, but I did not like these holds at first because they were so slopey, and I know I didn't do the right beta, which was just going dynamically to those 2 first holds, but they were so bad that my hands were just not sticking on them. And then I figured out that I could kind of crimp it somehow, and I didn't get the send of this boulder, unfortunately. I was on the last challenging move and then it was over, but I couldn't get a send, and it was unfortunate, but I wanted to try some other boulders, so I didn't try too much. And now we have this circuit 4 2 stars that was very cool also, because when you start on the right side you don't see the jug on the other wall, and that's something we don't have again at my gyms. Like these change of walls that you don't really see the hold, but you still have to jump and kind of know where the hold is. And I think that makes up for very cool boulders, since you can do this coordination type of moves. So another 5-star boulder, like the rest of the gym. And now we have the last boulder of the session, which is a circuit 5 2 stars. This boulder was awesome, but at the same time tricky, because I thought once you get past the first move it was pretty much over, but it was definitely the hardest section for me, since the crimp was pretty small, and then this next thumb press was terrible, so I had to try hard. On my 4th try I got this first move that was a cool coordination of just going statically to this crimp, but then yeah, like I said, this section felt pretty like V8, and I wasn't expecting to try this much, but it was my last boulder and I really wanted to send it, so I try-harded a little more than I wanted to. But once I got to this point, it was crimping so much on the left, and I cheated the ending. Unfortunately, I didn't see that left foot, so I kind of just crossed and used my height once again. But I think the right beta was just standing on the left, going right foot, and then a little coordination to the last move. That concludes my last boulder at Better Block, and this gym was once again awesome. Every boulder was cool to try, and next session I'll be at Blockshop. Aight, we're back on the second session, and this is Blockshop Hochelaga. And I had to film this V3 because, as you can see, it looks so cool for a low grade. And I feel like every boulder has so much effort in it, just the setting. There's not a single bad boulder. Since this was my second session, I needed to warm up correctly. So not waste too much skin, not waste too much energy, and definitely just moving, like getting my body activated for all the boulders in the gym, because there was a full gym for me to try. And you can see I filmed like every boulder. I probably had like 2 videos left that I could film in my phone. I didn't have space anymore, but I wanted to film every boulder in this gym because, like I said, I don't think there was any bad boulder. I think I climbed all the boulders I could, since once I finished the hard boulders, I went on the easier ones and I cleared the entire gym. So there wasn't a break for me in that session. So that V5 was the end of my warm-up, and now we have this V7 that has this very cool dynamic first move. You have to go on a jug and at the same time press with the left hand. And I was surprised I flashed this move because I'm usually not much of a like dynamic type of climber. And even the ending sequence wasn't too easy because of course I have my injury, so the crimp wasn't too comfortable for me, but it was also generating from that position, and you have this weird foot on the left, so even the last move was a little challenging. And now we have another V7 that I have never tried these holds. In my gym we don't have these type of holds. Some of them kind of feel the same way, but you have this weird little lip that you can crimp, but it's not too good, but it still works. So I like those holds, and the boulder felt also like a normal V7 for me. And now we're getting on a cool slab boulder, and this is a V8 that I saw Zach doing on his video, but I didn't check the video back because I didn't want any beta. And I actually almost flashed it. This is my first attempt that you see on the screen, and I was confident that I could flash this one if I took my time. But the last move was probably the crux, because I was crunched in that position. When I grabbed the right volume you see all the way to the right, I was not feeling comfortable and I couldn't get the flash. But the slab was so well set, and you can see this is like a full wall of just one boulder. It almost feels just like the Magnus videos that he has the slab of the week, and it's just a wall with one slab. It kind of felt like that one, because you only have this boulder and then you have to just go across the whole wall. And this is the move I was talking about. I almost got it, but then I slipped. I couldn't stick to the wall. I think it was getting lower. If you can get very low, you have this balance that you can just flip your hand slowly and not really just try to squeeze it hard. So I couldn't get that position, and on my second attempt I just tried the last move. And I didn't see the video of Zach, but afterwards I saw that they were going to the right, flipping their hand like I tried on my first attempt. And even if they did that, the last move was still challenging. But what I did instead is just standing on these foot and just going for the last move. And I feel like I'm always getting these better breaks, but they work for me, so I could get a nice end of this cool slab. Now we have this V10. I saw some people doing it on Instagram, and once again I didn't look back at the video. I wanted to figure it out by myself. These middle moves felt weird because I thought it would be this paddle, but it was only going left, right, and then holding the swing. So I gave it a good first try. I wanted to like try every move, and this last section wasn't too bad because you have this jib up there, then you gotta do this muscle up, but I didn't figure it out right away. And I think the first move was the hardest one for me, because you have to really squeeze the left hand, and when you go to the sloper, the next one, you have to hold it cut loose. So I was trying to figure it out, the middle section. I was also trying to find another beta, but in this next attempt, I think I did the send, and I basically just did what I thought, which was going left, right, and holding the swing. But this first move was definitely the hardest one for me. So this move was cool, and once I got past this, it was pretty much over, but these slopers you see up there are not as good as it looks in camera. And once I got here, I figured out that you have to do the muscle up, but this is probably the hardest step out I did in my life. You can see I'm fighting here, but I think the top out in this gym is just so hard. You have to really bring your foot up and like do an enormous squat if you want to top it out. It's not only like you get the lip up there and it's over. And now I'm trying this V10, and honestly I've never touched that much of a greasy hold. Like this pinch on the right is so bad. I tried to squeeze it and then I was just slipping. It was not like a grip strength, it was just always slipping, and I tried it a few times, but then I got frustrated because it was getting my skin off, and yeah, it was just not holding for shit. So I tried this V10, and I know Zach did it in one of his videos. I checked his beta, but it was definitely not the same as me, because when I did this boulder, I did a knee bar, then got my hand up and did another knee bar, and it worked for me very well. But the problem is my injury. When I got to this crimp, I was using too much strength, and it actually hurt my finger a little bit, and yeah, I just decided to not try it anymore. So that was unfortunate because the boulder was very sick, but I couldn't try it again. And now we have this V8 that I also saw on Zach's video, and I definitely didn't see that video back because I tried that dynamically, the first move, and it was definitely not the beta. I think it was a press like this. Zach did it the other way, so he was facing the gym, but for me this worked. The problem was this next move. I thought it would be a little dynamic, but I tried to static it like that, but it was weird to just kind of reach it with one hand. So what I did instead is kicking my left foot and going with two hands, because even though it's a jug, you have to push really hard with the left foot or you're gonna fall like that. So once I got that move, it was very nice, like it was an epic move, but I think the crux was the ending. Once I figured it out, it wasn't too bad, but I spent so much time trying to figure out this last move. I tried to get a knee bar, I was trying to find another foot, going right hand, then trying to go left hand, trying to squeeze another knee bar. I tried everything, but it was just not working. I don't have it on video, but I figured out the ending alone, which was just getting a little higher and going left hand and then placing a knee bar, as you'll see in this video. But once I figured it out, it wasn't too bad. But that was a cool, challenging ending that didn't require much strength, as you can see here, but just figuring it out was tricky. And I feel like this could be a perfect competition boulder, because you have to be quick about the beta if you want to get the boulder in 4 minutes. This V7 was also sick, and I feel like it was a competition boulder also, because there was a competition a few weeks ago, I think, and they still haven't taken down the boulders. They took out the numbers, but they put out V-grades, and this definitely felt like a competition boulder, and it was sick. I couldn't get the flash of it, but the move to the jug was definitely cool. And sometimes I was getting exhausted, so I went back to some easy boulders, like these ones, just going dynamically and not using too much strength. And this was a small wall of dynos, and I don't know if it was in the competition, but it was definitely some cool little dynos. They weren't too challenging, but I still couldn't flash this one and the next one. So I don't think they were necessarily too hard. I'm just I'm just kind of bad at these dynos, flashing them. But when I figure them out, they're just normal dynos. And this was the hardest one, this yellow one, and it was definitely a little harder than the purple one, since you have to swap your foot and put a left foot up. But I think when I got it here, I didn't even bring my left foot up. I just switched my feet and kind of just went for that dyno. So cool boulders. It definitely did a small break from all these crimps, slopers, and other stuff. So yeah, like as you can see, I went back to V6 and I didn't even flash this one because once I figure out you have to go the other way, it was definitely easier. I got confused at first. I was like, there's no way this is a V6 move. But when I turned around, this all made sense. And it was really cool since you have to do this 360 and then kick your foot if you don't want to fall. And you can see I'm not comfortable, but when I get here, it's fine. I feel like every boulder is well thought. Like Zach says at Blockshop, every boulder is sick. There's no boulder you're disappointed. And this is another unfortunate boulder that I couldn't send, and I really wanted to send it. I think I tried it like 7 times, which was more than my limit. I wanted to try this boulder 5 times max, and then I was like, you know what, I'll try it again. And this is my first attempt that you see on the screen, and every attempt was the same. I could get to this position every time, but again, Montreal with these last moves of just going to the last hold and then you gotta catch with the toe hook. I'm so bad at them, and this time I couldn't span it. So that was unfortunate, but I couldn't get the send of it because this boulder was very sick. But then they opened their new set. I think they finished at like 3:45, so I had to stall for time. And when they opened it, I just stopped trying that one. And also tried this V11 that I saw in Zach's video, and he made it look so easy, but damn, this boulder's hard. You have to generate again. Every move is just hard. You have this big paddle and getting to those kind of jugs, and even this ending is just so weird, and this right hold is terrible. And of course, I was getting exhausted at this point. I think it was 3 hours in, 3.5 maybe. But when I tried it again here, I felt a little tweak on my shoulder, on my right shoulder. As you can see, I'm like moving it. I didn't like that move, so I didn't try it again. Very unfortunate, but if it was in my gym, I would definitely try it again. And this is from the new set. It was open at 4, I think, well, 3:45, and I was getting tired, but I really wanted to try these boulders, and I could get a nice flash of this V8. And those pinches were very bad, but I tried them before at the new gym at Delire, so I knew sort of what they felt like. So I just went for the moves, and it was just a strength type of boulder. It wasn't really tricky. And there was also this V9 in the new set. I gave it a first go, and it didn't feel too bad, but going to this next crimp was definitely a little weird because you have to generate from this bad hole, but then you have this insanely good hold on the right. And then this next section is like a different style, just trusting your feet, and this last hold is like terrible. As you can see, I just slipped immediately. But then on my second attempt, I could get a send of it, surprisingly. I didn't expect a send because the last move is something I'm usually bad at, just trusting my feet. But I really just try to lean back and then weirdly pinch the last hold, and I could get a match. And I was surprised because it definitely felt like a low V9, but it was still kind of tricky, and maybe I wouldn't even give it V8. So that was a nice set from nice boulder from the new set. And then we have this V8 that I used my wingspan again to my advantage. This V8 was also from the new reset, and it took me around 5 tries because this move was weird. Just trying to take your left foot off, and yeah, just getting to that next foot was weird. But then I figured out you have to take this small jib. It wasn't too bad. Well, I mean, I'm saying it's not too bad, but I cheated it, so I can't really give it an honest opinion. Like right there, I'm just max span, and I can bring my arm, but I think you have to just go on the right foot and then bring your left arm. So probably more challenging for smaller people. And even this last move, I cheated it because from up there you don't see the little triangle here, so you have to either know that he's there or just span it like me. So I did 2 cheats on this boulder. The last hold was good, fortunately for me. So yeah, I could get a cool send of it even if I did 2 cheats on it. Well, this is the last boulder of the session, and it was also from the new set, and it was a hard boulder. I was getting really tired. The slopers were definitely worse than I thought, and I almost dropped the last move. As you'll see here, I went for the jug and everything popped, so I just kind of had to clutch that one. And I got a nice flash of it, but it was definitely a little limit. So that was my 2 sessions in Montreal. So first one at Better Block and second one at Blockshop. And like I said, I wish I could try more gyms. There was many boulders I wanted to try, horror boulders that I wanted to send, but I didn't have the energy, the skin, or the fingers to do that. So I just tried the most boulders I could, and they were epic, all of them. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was really cool to climb in Montreal, and I hope to go again soon.